Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Hard to Find 4. This is the New Order, Last Days of Europe, and we are Rurik II, King of Annoying Noises, and also Siberia. So, what is happening at the moment? Well, I strongly suspect that we are right near the end of the game. We are still 19.7 billion in debt. We have turned off the majority of our factories, at least the military ones, so our spending is way down. So our deficit is now going down. So we're starting to build up a tiny bit of a surplus, though it is going to be quite a long time before we manage to fix that. I wish I'd turned the factories off earlier. As it turns out, having factories is actually more expensive than not having factories. So the rapid industrialization of the Kingdom of Siberia was probably ultimately a bad idea, which just seems so backwards. But we have the factories, we just don't have any of them actually active, or a very, very small portion of them active. We have 28 active out of the 57 we have. This just seems so wasteful. We don't, I think, have any other national ideas. We do not. We have finished the bulk of the focus tree. And we are now on our way to get nukes, which is going to be more expensive, so that is going to be another cost that we are going to have to factor in. I do think that the economy in this game is pretty poorly balanced, because we have been doing everything we possibly can to balance our books. We've built infrastructure everywhere where we can get lots and lots of resources. We've been massively increasing our factory count. We have we have 100% of our consumer goods currently in the private sector. We have none of them in use, and we are still losing money. It's a problem. And I don't think that the interest payments from 20 billion in debt versus 98 billion GDP should be causing as many problems as we have. So who's going to win in the West? Well, the Western Siberian is Boris Yeltsin. Oh. I didn't even realise that. Oh, Boris. And then we have got Mileti Zhukov. Not Zhukov, but Zhukov in the Provisional Commissariat of Western Russia. These two have made peace. I think it's supposed to have been split in two ways rather than three now, but we are still dealing with this. The Germany Civil War over? Yeah, ages ago. That finished about 5 years ago. It was actually relatively quick. So what are we doing? We are currently producing... In fact, we could even potentially turn off the number of tanks we're producing. Because we have 3. Did we have a shortage? No, we have a surplus. You know what? I'm going to turn off tank production as well. And fighters. We have way more fighters than anyone else. So it's just APCs. We're using a grand total of 12 factories. And now making 2.4 billion in surplus. So hopefully that helps us resolve some of our problems. Industrialization is of course known to be bad for economies. You must revert to traditional Viking economics of just taking things from others, except we can't raid anymore. Raiding was turned off ages ago. Otherwise I'd love to be raiding, but unfortunately that's not a thing. So yeah, I strongly suspect that this series is very nearly over. I just kind of wanted to crack through and just see what happens. Elderly reflections. As he hobbled down the palace corridor with his son, Boris, Rurik II could feel himself getting slower with age. The old king was not nearly as mobile as he once was, and found himself relying on his cane more often. I do not enjoy being old, Boris. Not when there is so much for me to accomplish. I fear I am running out of time. Boris Krylov looked over at his father, an eyebrow raised in concern. You shouldn't speak of such dark things, father. You've already done more than enough for Russia. For all of us. The king was silent for a moment. Boris... What do you make of your brother? Do you think he will be able to finish what his father started? Yuri. No, father, you know I don't like politics. Oh, hell with that nonsense. I want to know what you think, Boris. Very well. Fine. I think you made the right choice, father. My brother is energetic, passionate, and seems to have a genuine care for the realm and its people. I personally think he will do a fine job, even if it means he sometimes lacks subtlety. It gave Rurik genuine happiness to hear that at least some of his children seem to hold the other in high regard. Of course, he tried his best not to show it. Rurik and his son seemed to be in agreement. The kingdom was in safe hands. Yuri would see to that. The king knew that his glory days were now behind him, and it wouldn't be long before his time was up. At the very least, he could rest easy, knowing that Yuri would continue his dreams long after he had passed. Our kingdom will endure. I positively love this mod and wish to see more of it when you see oh, there's definitely going to be more. There's definitely going to be more. Oh yeah, Buchan, you asked earlier something. What was it? How complicated is this mod? Not very. I would say that something like Kaiserreich, at least playing as the Russian warlords, something like Kaiserreich is probably more overwhelming and intimidating. Particularly when you're one of the small guys, because you are so laser focused on just your area, and you don't really care about what's happening in the rest of the world. I do like how the game kind of like expands. So as you are physically zooming out to see more of your country, you're also zooming out to see more of what your neighbors are doing. And I really like that. Like for the very, very early part of the game, we were literally this. And that's all I cared about. And then we took out our neighbors, Novosibirsk and Krasnoyarsk. And then it was like out to something like this. And then now we're actually thinking, you know what? We are pretty much Russia at this point. We need to start thinking about what Japan thinks. We need to start thinking about what America thinks and everything else. And also sending angry letters to the Germans. So I think this does a very, very good job of like escalating your responsibilities and introducing new stuff at the time. Bad things are the economy. I like what they've tried to do. I don't think it's worked very well. I think it's something that can be balanced with tweaking. I think that resources need to have more of a bearing. I think that industry, civilian industry in particular, needs to have more of a positive bearing. Those are the main things. Because I've purposely tried to factor my economy to pay off this debt, and none of it has really worked. And if anything, it's actually made the state more expensive. Oil crisis erupts. Following the breakout of several conflicts in the Middle East, the death of the chairman Enrico Mattei, the stocks of the ENI, Italy's most prominent oil company, have fallen massively. Due to Italy's role as a major player in the world trade, the panics have spread in waves across the global markets, and the price of oil has shot up. Oil has played a crucial part in the global conflict between Germany, Japan and America, being the most valuable resource in transportation and warfare. With the outbreak of the conflict and the need for oil becoming immense, the powers of the world once more eye the region of festering conflict with great interest, looking to support whichever factions, huzzah, nations or leaders that will allow for economic footholds. It seems that a new battleground has been placed upon the world stage, one that will change the face of the Middle Eastern geopolitics forever. Syrian Republic gets oil 5T. People do not want words. They want the sound of battle. The battle of destiny. Black gold, red sand. Well, I mean, that is the kind of thing which would be good for me, because if Middle Eastern oil supplies are running out, and I am very oil rich, I feel like, should be exporting more, and our oil should become more valuable. The Arabian Republic has defeated the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in a war. Who's in charge here? Gulbrand Lunde. This is still fascist. So yeah, it's a free... Oh no, it's not even a free Norway. They're a collaborator state. So no, Norway is not free. It's more free than it was, but it's not free. Can you see the focus tree for the USA? Yeah. The Bennett presidency. Wow, he has a lot of stuff to do. That's a point. Where's my spies right now? Doing nothing, as I thought. You probably want to be spying on those guys in the West Siberian Republic, though I doubt that we'll have anything to do against them. And we can probably pay off more of our debt at this point. Nope, still no liquid reserves. Recon Company 2 finished. I think I probably want Recon... Well, no, we're 1970 now. We want to get I would love to get faster production, but is this really worth it? It's worth it. More factories per state. Even if we don't use it immediately, I still want to... do I need the 50% though? Not really. I might just go and... Oh, we're already researching 1970 APC. Maybe the 1970... We've already got the 1970 tank. Infantry equipment. We could get the 1970s infantry equipment. Although it's not a massive upgrade. We could get the 1970 artillery. 1970s tech we're already doing. I mean, the resource efficiency stuff would be nice. Fuel gain from refinery, synthetic oil plus 10% and allows you to get up to level 3 synthetics. We probably could try to become entirely self-sufficient in terms of oil. In terms of rubber, we already are in oil. Yeah, we have an enormous amount of oil for export. Come on, people, buy from me! I'm still going to go for construction. With the improvements of modern heavy-duty vehicles such as bulldozers, cranes, excavators and concrete mixers, it should now allow for more work, completed for less time. Because our potential industry is enormous. No longer constructing a royal fleet. We never even started. I turned the ports off. And that's also a bit of a weird national spirit. 120 days of faster shipbuilding, though it doesn't actually give you any technology for ships. Into the atomic age. Alright, next. We can establish the closed factories, which will give us another building slot in Irkutsk, and also infrastructure. Increases theoretical development progress by 5%, monthly progress by 1. And then we also need to get material procurement. The world is full of prying eyes, who, whether seeking to steal our secrets for themselves or sabotage our progress, would gain much and cost us dearly if they were able to gain access to the inner workings of our newborn nuclear program. And while there are many ways to stop the interlopers, there is only one foolproof way: stop everyone. Important research laboratories, uranium enrichment facilities, nuclear reactors and missile factories shall be located in closed cities. Locations that do not officially exist, where all entry and exit is most tightly regulated by the military. In our security, we shall find secrecy. Do I like the neon? I'm not bothered by it. But then I'm bothered by bad aesthetics a lot less than some people. Like border gore doesn't bother me in the slightest. Unless it's like cutting a country in half, in which case it's not really border gore. Ah! Aha! Project Clandenets. In order to ascend to the status that we must aspire to on the world stage, Russia needs a nuclear program of its own. Although we do not expect to acquire the bomb immediately, we must lay the groundwork of a proper program so that we may match the enemies one-on-one when the time comes for a potential conflict. The current program stage is theoretical development, so we need theoretical material infrastructure, material refining and weapon manufacturing. Overall progress is slow. Oh, these all cost money, of course they do. However, that does increase academic base, research facilities. Okay, these two don't cost anything. So I think I'm going to study those foreign developments. And also approach emigre scientists. These two we're not doing though, I'm not spending money on this. Or rather, I'm spending as little money as I possibly can on this. Pay off another 200 million. Sounds good to me. Each presidential tree has 8 years of content. Nice. Oh, is that England's had their update? Because I know that was one thing which was planned, but I have not seen anything about an update happening. Then again, where would I have got that news? Are they on Twitter? Because usually with the big mods, I kind of follow them on Twitter or Discord and stuff. I don't think I do for New Order. Oh, and if they're on Reddit, I don't usually do Reddit, really. I'm a bit scared to search for the New Order on Twitter. Who knows what that's going to come up with. England update still in progress. Okay, thank you. I wonder if we're going to hit 100 billion before the end of the game. Probably. I'd actually be fairly surprised if we don't. Let's turn those two off. Establish closed facilities. Okay, foundation for research. Theoretical development increases by 15%, monthly progress gained by 3%. More than 2 decades of infighting and warlordism, not to mention the Nazi occupation of some of Russia's most prestigious cities, have given us a 20-year late start on the research into nuclear physics. If we are to have any hope of achieving this in a reasonable time frame, we must begin pouring money into the universities, laboratories and research centres we currently have. We cannot wait for Moscow State University to just drop into our laps. I mean, it could if you gave me a seat. There we go, 100 billion. We just went up by like 2 billion just like that. No longer get the effects of civilian austerity. That's unacceptable. Institute it immediately. Aha! BTR 70s. Okay, so we can start upgrading... Oh, damn it. Where are they? Production. You to the BTR 70s. Which thankfully don't cost any more resources. Although increasing the amount of resources you get is a bit pointless when you can't use those factories. Then we're going to go for resource extraction because I'm fairly sure that this does increase your... Does it? I wish I knew what contributed to this. Is it purely that growth rate? I thought that other things would factor into it, but now I'm not so sure. Could also go for production efficiency growth, which will be good for the new BTVs. You know what, I'm doing that first. Once the rudiments of industrial administration are established throughout our industrial base, more advanced administrative techniques such as cartels, conglomerates and interfirm cooperation will be taught to our men on the ground. And now we're going to have a whole bunch of building slots, which I can't use, because apparently factories are expensive. Constant civilian austerity if I consider running for Prime Minister. Oh, I'm sure I would handle the economy better than the current idiots. Although that being said, I do not envy them their jobs right now. Shield Maiden division's ready for deployment. Very good. We now have 24 Shield Maidens. Excellent. Tanks are fully trained, and we have 1 Yoms Viking as well, currently in training. Is Brexit going that poorly? I don't think Brexit's really going, except over a cliff. Zing! Tokyo standoff. The Great Conspiracy, it is known in Japan, has escalated into more bloodshed and violence, as rogue Imperial Japanese army units have seized positions on the outskirts of Tokyo. Claiming to be the guardians of Kukatai, the protectors of Tenno, they virtually laid siege to Tokyo. Of note, the Imperial family has temporarily been evacuated to Kyoto for fears for their safety. It has been said that Tokyo's standoff has been induced by the paranoia gripping Japanese society as a result of the Great Conspiracy. Brother would suspect brother, subordinate would accuse superior. The Imperial Japanese military hierarchy has exploded into anarchy. Only time can tell if Tokyo is capable of handling the situation. Has the Empire of Japan gone mad? And would any of their nuclear scientists like to move to Russia? I'm just saying, we're really close. Is debt at least ticking down? It's ticking down. Although that's only because I have to turn off all of the factories. At the moment we're paying off 2.3 billion a year. So we'll be out in 7-8 years. So by 1978 we'll be in a surplus. If the global economy doesn't crash, that is. Islamic Republic of Iraq declares war on the Republic of Kurdistan. Arab Republic of Iraq declares war on the Republic of Kurdistan. Oh dear, Iraq seems to be having problems. Big problems. We got oil for sale. Like, if Iraq's having all of these issues, you can buy your oil here. In yet another example of the startling rise of instability across the Middle East, it appears that the Republic of Iraq, a long-time Italian ally in the region, has fallen into civil war. The nation's government has been steadily eroding ever since the assassination of its president, Abd al-Karim Qasim. Curiously, while the Iraqi wing of the Pan-Arab Ba'ath Party leads the insurrection against the Italian-led emergency government, the position of the rest of the Iraqi parties is unclear. Some, particularly those oppressed by Qasim's administration, have taken up arms in a bid for an Iraq of their own. Others have remained officially neutral for the moment, even as quiet negotiations are reported to have taken place with the Italian representatives. Whoever the winner of the new round of conflict, seems likely it will not be the Iraqi people. Already, heavy casualties are reported as all parties rapidly mobilise. Have we done enough of this already? I have guns for sale. Good old, not so old-fashioned Russian guns. They have a great reputation. I mean, we have AKs. Does Iran have a focus tree? I'm not sure they do, actually. Nope. Do I have to manually click a button to pay off a debt? Yep. Oh yes, we do need a new focus, thank you. Address the uranium problem, increases material procurement by 5 and monthly progress by 2 at a cost of $150 million US. Our lands are blessed with resources, coal, iron, aluminium and all sorts of other metals and minerals. But uranium, the key resource needed for the nuclear program, is not among those easily found. And as trying to build a nuclear bomb without uranium is like trying to win a war with an army of empty uniforms. We must find sources of fissile materials, preferably sooner rather than later. We've got another 196 million. Next time I press that button, we should go below 19 billion. No longer get the effects from military austerity. Keep it up. Technology. Research done. Good stuff. This is efficiency cap output. Yeah, go ahead and do that one. The assembly line has skyrocketed factory efficiency to astronomical heights ever since it was introduced to the century's turn. Applying newfangled robotics to this process will undoubtedly produce results of similar magnitude, mutually exclusive with flexible automations. Oh, hang on. That's growth. And right now, I think we want the growth. Cap growth 1010. Retention 10, cap is only 5. Yeah, I want the flexible. With our adaptation of flexibility as a principle in production, we can diversify our product range while retaining the same method of industrial production. The promise is to reduce our cost of production by increasing potentials for standardization of equipment across the board. Research. I wonder if the game's going to run long enough. I kind of doubt it. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens when we finish our focus tree. We're not that far off. I don't know if I need to do Merchant Marine as well. I'm kind of expecting a thanks for playing screen, but I don't know for sure if that's going to happen. Also, hold on, 1971 we can declare war on those guys. So we do have another objective. Source foreign materials, increases procurement by 10% at a cost of 100 million. Or expand the Siberian mines, cost of 350 million. There's a one-off payment. At least I'm assuming these are a one-off payment. Hold on. Just clicking the economy tab increased it. Yeah, it's a one-off payment. Okay, where is it? I wish it would tell me what this 850 million is. Alright, we're going to grab this, and we're going to see if that 850 million goes up. Alas, not everything domestic can satisfy a nation's needs. More uranium is required, and while one can't exactly buy plutonium in every corner drugstore in America or Germany, it's not hard to find if one knows where to look. Africa, Australia, Central Asia. There's a world of possibilities. Some may call it unpatriotic, but it matters not. Domestic or foreign sourced, it will explode all the same. So, first of all, I need to double check when this is available. 1st of January 1971. So if the military austerity comes up again, we shouldn't take it. Because West Siberia does actually have a pretty good army. What year does this end? 1990. At least that's when the tech tree ends. Civilian construction 4. So now we'll get the resource extraction. New prospecting techniques as well as deep boring equipment allow for the exploitation of ore veins and deposits that were previously inaccessible or even undiscovered. Iraq has defeated the Republic. 19.1. Republic of Kurdistan has defeated the Iraqi Republic. Yeah, do we have any other decisions? No. No, we do not. Oh, I forgot something else. Commander Faceless did a tier 3 resubscription before the stream started. I totally forgot about that, and I did see it pop up. So thank you very much for the 19 months of continual support there, Commander Faceless, and I really appreciate it. And tier 3 as well. That's very, very generous. Thank you. 19 months, and I keep on trucking. Glad to hear. And Pablo the Mexican Taco, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Samuel came in with a 6-month Twitch Prime resubscription. Thank you very much for that, Samuel. And Neo Loki Gaming came in with a 15-month resubscription as well. Thank you for that. And then right on time wants me to drink some tea. Well, I'll have some water first, because I'm thirsty. What's the mod about? Chat's done a very good job of explaining, and yes, it's good. It has my endorsement. I would rank this up there with Kaiser Reich Road 56 and Old World Blues. I think the triumvirate has just become a fourumvirate. Quadumvirate? What would a four-way mastery work? Oh, we sourced the foreign materials. Hold on. Cost. I was not watching. This is very annoying. Still 850 million. That went up to 19.2. That was on 0.1. And that cost 100 million. Okay, so it is just a one-off payment. These aren't permanent. Unlike that one. That even says yearly cost. At a cost of 100. Okay, these are one-offs. I was really scared that these would be like continual payments. We're fine. 100 million I can afford. Because, you know, pocket change. Just what I carry around in the wallet. 100 million. Easy. Further into the tundra of Siberia lie the lands of the Krasnoyarsk region, which is practically teeming with uranium. The subsequent collapse of the Bukharan Soviet Union, the Central Siberian Republic, meant that it lay almost completely untouched for decades. Until now, that is. At long last, the mines of Krasnoyarsk can be exploited to their full potential and fulfill an infinitely powerful purpose.